Dunamis woman, releasing all miracles for the kingdom within me, breaking through barriers. Success is what I see, understanding my destiny and the power I possess, exposing, empowering my greatness in the eyes. Dunamis woman, taking authority. Dunamis woman, over principalities. Dunamis woman, I am strong. Dunamis woman.
Welcome to Dunamis Woman and Ram. Today I am Pastor D and I am the host of this show, and I'm just so elated to be back with you again. For those of you all who are not familiar with the term dunamis, means power. It's a Greek term right there in the Word of God, and it means relentless, strength, force. Actually, it's a miracle itself. So our whole premise and whole thing and goal and all that stuff for this show is that for every woman of power, we surround ourselves with real awesome men. I'm reminded of Sarah when God told Sarah Abraham that she will produce kings, not a king, but kings. So literally we have the power, Chris, to speak life, that men will come into a whole nother realm of thinking. And that's why we always have a tendency to, out of our pain, tear the men down. But we got so much power, we can shift you all into a whole nother realm if we just understand the order of this thing.
Yes.
The order of this thing. So as you can see, I'm here with Christopher Askew once again. If you all saw the last two shows, we were there and we had a woman of power with us, but we had to kick off the set because Chris, I needed you all to myself.
Well, here I is.
Thank you for being with me.
Pleasure.
And I really want us to just do some real talk. I love talking with men. And I believe that you all, when you speak to us as women, first of all, we learn, it rejuvenates our soul. It replenishes us, from what we have had to deal with in this world system that we were never designed to, because God gave us a grace for our power to raise our children by ourselves and have careers and all those things, it was never meant for us to do that without awesome men and a particular man in our life. You know what I mean? So now, as God is restoring and we have been broken as women, I love to hear the wisdom that comes from a man's mind as he has submitted himself unto God, as he has made a decision to stay in God's presence. I'm not talking about a male. Right. I'm talking about a man. So in this case, this would be yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
You have made some decisions in your life, being that male and messing around and acting a fool and ignorant, but yet still you came to a point that you said, I have to make some qualitative decisions.
Yes.
What are some of those qualitative decisions that a man must make in order to step and embrace that manhood?
The first thing that comes to mind is positioning. What's my position? Which stems from your role and your identity. Not just who you are, but who do you really want to be? I mean, really want to be.
Yeah.
Sometimes the choice is the attention that I think I want to be this type of person, but I'm not sure because I still like my dirt or I still like my old self.
Yes.
It's what I'm used to. It's what I'm comfortable with. But I'll tap into this new Chris just a little bit. It's the identity. And you spoke about it earlier, deciding, making the decision. Who I want to be, what's the role that I'm going to take. And so with that, once I decided that I wanted to be somebody different, because, and here's the thing, you listen, we miss all the signs. People have been speaking into my life for a long time. People have been saying, just pouring into me about the greatness that's in me, the thing that they see, the potential, and you hear it and but to really chase after that, to really want to own it, to really say that I want to be responsible for that power, for that authority, for that position, for that role. I had to make some hard decisions. I had to cut some people off. I had to step into some bigger shoes. I had to deal with
More
some
responsibility.
exactly, absolutely, but definitely more responsibility. A lot of times we shy from that because that puts us in a place of uncomfortableness, and in all of that. But the thing that keeps me going is the growth.
Yeah.
I want to grow. I want to be different. I want to be somebody great for others.
Yes.
And that's my passion now. That's my passion. And with that, like you said, comes a lot of responsibility, understanding. Where can I get the understanding of it? And with all that, you can't carry a lot of baggage with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, it doesn't happen overnight.
No.
There's a process.
It is.
There's challenges.
Yeah.
There are going to be hills and valleys and turmoil and adversity and all this other confusion, all this stuff. But glory be to God.
Yeah.
Because He will lead the way.
You know, I'm listening to you speak. You know, and another man spoken. You know, asked me a question. He said, "Why do you keep looking at my mouth? You know, when I talk. You know." And I said, because you're speaking wisdom, you know, you're speaking truth, you know. And so I was just listening to you and listening and looking at your mouth.
No, I'm self-conscious.
Don't get self-conscious.
No.
You were saying something about, you know, what you wanted to be. And people have been speaking into your life and seeing the greatness and the potential. And that's one of the things we're doing this Women in Ram International Ministries is understanding your greatness and the power you possess. However, we as women, we see a lot of the potential in a man. And I can only speak for myself, but I'm sure women can relate to me, is that we married or we get with the potential.
Yes.
And we fail to realize that we have got into a relationship of some level with the potential, but without you all have made that decision that I want to seek it out for myself, you know. And so with that, we're striving so much to make you be something because we see it. We see it.
Yes.
We see it. But until you have made that decision, we're becoming depleted. Depleted. Talk about that from that perspective of where I'm coming from.
Well, first of all, I mean, the first thing that comes to my mind, you hear a lot of conversations, and this is from just experience, not from my own relationship, but you hear people in relationships that they were trying to change someone. They were trying to change them. They said, "Well, I can change him. I can change him. He's good right now. But I'm gonna make him better because I'm gonna change him." And it's a man.
Women, you can't change a man.
Okay.
Women,
I'm glad I didn't have to say it.
Let me say it.
Thank you very much.
All right.
He has to make that decision on his own.
Yes. Yes.
And where he wants it. Now, the woman being the support being of that's a very important role.
Yes.
And there needs to be partnership in that.
Yes.
So just that understanding of coming together, that the man decides he wants to change and where he wants to change, but that has to be a decision he makes on his own, and her being the support. And if he is following Christ, then she will have no problem with that.
Correct. And even, you know, I'm listening to you speak once again because, yes, the submission to Christ is a mandate. It's not an option. But and I'm going to interview real quick. I want to know, because I think we as women, we make decisions without really communicating with you all. And then that's why, you know, I love talking to men, but I also have found myself talking to more older men because they have that wisdom. You know, one thing I had to learn, you know, is not to let that older man relationship tip into divination and other things, because I was seeking for the Father. You know, I've never had my father as a young lady sit down and talk to me. And sometimes we get in relationships seeking from our Father what we're looking for in a man. You know, and we have to know thyself to be true. However, with those things that you're speaking about, we don't know when you all are really submitting to Christ. You know, you can have the attributes of that. You know, I mean, just because you go to church toting your Bible with that nice vest on that you have doesn't mean you have submitted your will to Christ. Give us some signs, understanding, things we need to know, and to give us that indicator.
Well, I think you started out the conversation about communication. I think that it's huge. I think we take it for granted. It's a huge part, just opening your mouth and sharing with a person your true feelings. And a lot of people, once you start sharing, they will either recoil
Yeah.
or they'll grasp it.
Yeah.
And and it doesn't mean that they always have to be on the same level as you, but there's got to be something. You should hear something in their tone, in their passion. What are your goals? What's your vision? What do you care about? What don't you like? What gets you angry?
Yeah.
You know, what makes you angry that you want to do something to change it?
And I guess that goes before we take a break, because I know I taught in one of the seminars, Kings and Queens in Waiting. Queen Sheba, she asked Solomon hardcore questions. Hardcore questions. And if a man can't answer those hardcore questions or don't want to, either they're going to run from you or they're going to lean towards you or come towards your way.
Right.
Wow, that's a great strategy. We're going to come right back. We're going to take a break. I'm Pastor D. I have Chris Askew here with me, and you're going to learn more about a woman knowing how to glean from a man as he make qualitative decisions. Chris, we'll be right back.
All right.
Hi, I am Kamisha Barrett, 36-year-old mother of 3, who made a powerful transition in life. My journey began at the plight of abuse, physical abuse, with an ex-husband that shifted me into a journey of healing, a journey of building, and a journey of understanding who I am, not only as a woman, but the individual that God has called me to be. I didn't realize how emotionally dead I was, didn't realize how emotionally damaged I was, until by way of driving in a car one day, listening to Christian radio, and there was a voice that I heard, and that voice came from a woman called Pastor D. She took the time to pray with me, and not only that, but she also took the time to take my telephone number to even talk to me afterwards, never knowing that would open the door for many transitions in my life. I'm still developing, I'm still growing, but I'm grateful because I'm not where I used to be. I am broken but mending. For those of you that can hear me, that are literally under the auspices of my voice right now, because I know what it is that I've gone through, what it is that I've had to go through. I know that if you're hearing me right now, emotional healing is specifically for you to come and deal with those dead areas in your life. It's for you who need to know who you are as a woman, for you who need to be put back together again, for you who need your hearts mended. It is for you to become empowered, for you to take a different stance, for you to come back to who you really are. You are not the definition of anyone else. You are exactly who it is that God created you to be, who He made you to be. And if you don't know that, this is the perfect place for you to come, for you to discover that. This is the safest place for you to be, to express your heart, for you to see who you are, for you to see yourself as God sees you. A dunamis woman, a powerful woman, a woman of purpose.
We are right back. I am Pastor D, Dunamis Woman in Ramp today. Real talk, because we are real people with real issues serving a real God. And I know that you were blessed by that little excerpt just to hear a woman's heart of how relationships have really, really bruised her heart. But she has a heart for a healthy relationship. And Chris, we're all hurting. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Men are hurting.
Yes.
Women are hurting.
Yes.
You know, it's unfortunate that the women come out so much with the pain and not the men. But that's why I commend you. That's why I applaud you. That's why I esteem you. You know, talk about the hurt of a man, because we want to hear it.
First of all, we like to suppress it. We don't like to show it. And it just ends up hurting us more.
Yeah.
Even more.
Yeah.
The hurt is, we suppress it because it's pride that's keeping it in.
Yeah.
We think it makes us a bigger, better man not to show that emotional side. But we're hurt from all sides.
Yeah.
Take not having your father around. Take the relationship between your mother and father, that how it looks in your eyes. There's so many abusive relationships where the man is your dad. Your dad is treating your mom abusively, and you're in an age where you can't do anything about it, or you just lack the understanding. You don't know what's going on. What do you grow up to be?
And the child is observing it and really don't understand it because they're a child and don't know what, they looking at the mother and the father when it's the man and the woman.
Exactly, and the family stays together.
But it's not whole.
It's not whole.
It's not whole.
It's imperfect,
Wow.
and there's no moving forward. When we grow up with that, there are a lot of families like that today. They're just together with no ambition, no growth. And it's just damaging. And the men, we carry that. We're not taught to deal with those things, how to move forward from those things, how to change your mindset, how to become your own, in Christ, by allowing Christ to grow in you. That's the important piece. So it's hurt is just passed down. It'll be passed down to your son, and his son would pass down to his son, and it just becomes.
And then that son gets a wife, and he hurts the wife.
Hurts the wife.
Yet he got a good woman, and not understanding.
Yeah,
and the wife hurts the husband.
Exactly.
Because he hurt her, and what he put in her, he gonna get right back.
Right.
You know,
right.
3 times more.
Exactly.
You know, so it's just
exactly.
Going
on and on.
Yeah.
It's a vicious circle. It's a vicious circle. Yeah. And the communication of it all, we never talk about it.
Yeah.
We never address the pain.
Which is why we're here.
Which is awesome, to address the pain and really see what it's about. A lot of times what we've made it up to be in years past is really not the core, really is not what it started out with. Like something came to my realization, something I never dealt with as a child, just in my relationship with my mother and my father, and that they're separated, and how that impacted my growth so much. And because I fought against becoming that person so much, but fought in the wrong way. I never dealt with it head on. I just wanted to be different. I didn't want that, so I made decisions that were not edifying to my growth in a spiritual sense.
And can I take it a step further with you?
Absolutely.
Because I'm going by what I'm hearing, and you're a man, and you've been divorced.
Yes.
As a man, can you see where you may have inflicted some of that pain as a young man, being a child, and what you did or did not receive from your parents, how that filtrated into your marriage at that time to cause and lead to that? Can you?
Decisions.
Go back to decisions.
Let's go back to decisions. I mean, really, because I remember the question I asked myself when I came to the crossroads of the choice of getting married. The question I asked myself was, why not? That's the wrong question.
Okay.
Why not? But I didn't have anything else.
Yes.
I had no example. I didn't know what to ask for. I didn't know what to look for.
Yes.
I asked myself, well, she's good enough. She had some of the qualities, and an awesome woman.
A powerful woman.
Powerful woman.
Yeah.
But was it right for us? Was
Yes.
our union right?
So in other words, you're saying in taking responsibility and ownership, you were lacking identity of who you were as a man.
Exactly. And even at that point, did not share that with her. If we're coming in union together, then she should know those faults. She should know those places where I'm not filled, those places where I'm fragmented, that we may need to discuss, where we're going to come across those roads, and vice versa. I need to know her parts.
But we're not empowered to communicate about those things.
Oh, exactly right.
I'm reminded of Romans 8:28, or not 8:28, 26 is when Paul was saying, we're the Holy Spirit is there to aid us in our weaknesses, in our infirmities.
Yes.
And so often we're communicating our strengths.
Yes, yes.
It's like your resume. Do you ever put on your resume that you're late for work? You know what I'm saying? Do
right.
you put on your resume that you're tardy and you got an attitude? We fluff that stuff up to get in the door.
Right.
But I that's where we want to go as powerful women and real awesome men, to communicate our deficits.
Right. And that's real talk. That's real conversation.
That's real talk.
And we are we tiptoe around it because we see the potential, like we spoke about earlier, we see the potential in a person, and we don't want to lose them.
Yeah.
We're grasping at it because we don't have our own identity.
Yeah, yeah.
We think, and strongly put, less of ourselves.
And then from a woman's perspective, and I can take ownership, is that a woman who had been broken and understanding her identity and how powerful God really created her, I'm utilizing that to try to make this man live his potential. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying, and that's not how my power needs to be channeled. And trying to, I'm seeing that, and I'm a visionary. So you have to understand thyself,
Right.
And I brought my visionary into my marriage and into my relationship, which led to not being together. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Not
Yes.
being, with one another. I can't put that all on him, you
Right.
know? So if any ownership, I'm trying to make this potential. And he was experiencing pressure, you know what I'm saying, without making that decision. And I don't apologize for it, but it wasn't the right thing to do for at that time,
Gotcha.
And so it goes back to what you're saying, we're hurting one another.
we are hurting.
Good thing, it was lawful, but it wasn't edifying for him.
Yeah.
And it did not end up being edifying for me. Right. So now we lead into another broken relationship, But now, man and woman to man, for you, what's next? Because I got to find out what's next for me through you.
Well, for me, I mean, I'm in a place in my life where my focus is so driven, and it's driven towards Christ. I'm so open to receive what God has in store for me that I'm just I'm submerging myself into a different place, so I can become that greatness that He has in store for me. And because I want to be that.
Yes.
You get to a point where the mistakes happen over and over again. You want to change the cycle.
Yes.
If I see the hole, I'm walking down the street and I fall in the hole, and I'm coming down the same street day 2, I have a decision to make.
You got a decision to make.
We're going to do it all over again.
You twist your ankle hard enough.
Exactly. It didn't hurt enough.
Right. But now you broke the ankle. You like, I ain't going into that hole no more.
That's right.
We got to make those decisions.
Absolutely.
It's amazing because I love your transparency. At this season of your life, being 18 years old.
I ain't ashamed. I ain't scared.
Tell it.
42.
42.
I'm a proud 42.
There you go. But it's harder, and I can attest. To make decisions the older you get because you're looking back at your stuff.
Exactly.
And if you're not cognizant, you'll go into so much regret. You go into so much shame. You brought your head out of the regret. You brought your head out of the guilt. How did you do it? Real quick, because we're gonna go to just a real quick break.
Adding practical application.
No, good.
Adding practical.
I like practical versus scriptural application.
Practical. I mean, I had a brother come to me at a retreat, and he said, I want to read the Bible. How do I start? Most people are told, well, start in John. I told him, I said, what verses do you know?
Right.
And he spoke about stuff with Noah and the ark and they're all familiar. I start there because that's where your interest lies. That's what'll keep you.
So, Chris, we only have a few more minutes, and I just want to give that to you. But in doing so, I want to throw a ball right in your court.
Okay,
You know what I mean?
okay.
You made a practical decision, and a biblical one, scriptural one, about being able to learn and receive from a woman pastor, such as myself. That's been one of the struggles, and I'm not trying to get a man to come. You know what I'm saying? But I've heard so many. I can't sit up under a woman. Nah. You know what I'm saying? Talk about it. Look in that camera and just talk about how you was able to make that decision. And we're going to end with that.
Okay. Well, just get over it. That's what I told myself. Get over it.
Yeah.
It wasn't a struggle for me because I see her heart. I see her vision. I see the way she looks at not just me, but she cares for the people. So when you see that in a person, that's just with anybody. You see that in a person, you're drawn towards it. Pastor D, you bring a teaching, a deeper teaching and a deeper challenge to what we want, and make us fight for it. I chose because I wanted something deeper. I wanted something more. I wanted something greater. I was tired of the lesser. I know that there's bigger and better for me. So the decision was not hard. The decision was just to go forth and do it. And once I'm able to make that decision, I'm able to just jump in full throttle and give it my all. And that's the only way that I'm going to see any real growth, to get past a certain point of stagnation and to stop living the status quo.
Yeah, yeah.
There are more people that need to hear what you're teaching. There are more people who I am destined to reach out to. There are ministries to grow inside of me, to be birthed from me. But I have to be a certain person in order to take on that responsibility.
Yes.
And that's going to take a lot of growth. So I had to decide to become a bigger, better person, and that means not looking at, because she's a woman, that she couldn't pour into me. That is small mind thinking. I choose not to think small-minded.
I like the term choose.
Yeah.
I like the term choose, you know. Why you got me over here crying? But I thank you, Chris, because I commend you for that decision. I have learned to be confident in who God created me to be, you know, but my heart is for all men, all mankind. I'm tired of men hurting women and women hurting men, and the main thing it's affecting is our children,
yes.
you know, and our future generations.
Yes.
So that's our heart. That's who we are. The Change of Life Leadership Institute, Dunamis Women and Ram International Ministries. We definitely want to invite you out. Visit our website, www.dunamis-woman.com. I can leave you on that note because I have nothing else to say. God bless you and have a good one.
Dunamis woman.